What is true power? The loudest roar, or the calm that makes others lean closer?
Have you ever contemplated why certain individuals enter a space and time seems to pause around them? Neither boasting nor idle chatter, an aura of understanding, as if they possess insights that elude the rest of humanity. That is not mere chance. That lacks true allure. That is not a mood. It is tranquility. And it represents the most perilous form of influence one can possess. For in moments of true stillness, the relentless pursuit ceases, and all else falls away, begins to pursue you. Curious about the reasons behind her waning interest, despite your careful choice of words, desire to understand the reasons, does it seem as though life is slipping through your fingers, regardless of your relentless efforts? This is a video you seek. We're unaware of your requirements. Reflect on how tranquility can be a source of strength when you are prepared to embrace it. Create what few will ever grasp. We exist in an era where individuals are drawn in countless directions. Guidance, unfocused, weary, frustrated, uncertain, pursuing fleeting desires, seeking approval, pursuing achievement. Yet, seldom does one pause upon the fundamental inquiry. What is it that you seek? Attracts all those elements to your life? It is neither your appearance, nor your wealth, nor your speech that defines you. It is your essence. Your strength lies in maintaining composure amidst the relentless challenges that seek to disrupt your equilibrium. And if one does not acquire the skills to construct this, each interaction, each relationship, each opportunity will elude your grasp. That's why I created the philosophy, Guide to Navigating Relationships for Men. It transcends a mere form of an e-book. It is the stillness, the guide of exceptional individuals, those who navigate relationships with unwavering composure, the essence of their expression, the foundation for cultivating enduring loyalty and respect, and an undeniable attraction without the need for pursuit. The individuals who have engaged with it are undergoing a profound change, not only in romantic pursuits, but in the manner they navigate existence. Yet this understanding, it is not suited for all, and to safeguard its strength, it will not remain accessible to the exposed for an extended period. One cannot feign tranquility. One may choose to adorn oneself the finest timepiece in the space. One may possess the swiftest vehicle. One can commit to memory every insightful principle from every text on how to cultivate true worth. Yet, when life strikes at your door in the stillness of midnight, bearing a problem that rattles the very foundations of your assurance, and her gaze is fixed upon you, seeking a firm anchor within your gaze, it will become evident that true calm cannot be feigned. Serenity is not discovered in matters. It is not within your control. It lies beyond mere appearance. It resides within your essence. It is in your breath. Your composed and steady demeanor is evident. When all seems to be falling apart, each individual arrives at a crucial juncture where he must confront the weaknesses in his structure or demonstrates that his foundation is strong. And women, in their essence, are not drawn intuitively or emotionally to the individual who asserts his steadfastness, yet to the one who has truly attained that distinction through suffering, through endurance, and by enduring steadfastly. This is not for you to take. It is not possible to replicate this due to your inner self will reveal the truth whenever you attempt to embody someone else without truly transforming into that person. Reflect on that disagreement where your voice escalated, not due to her actions, but as a result of your own defeat, yourself. Reflect on that moment when you let an opportunity slip away due to your uncertainty about your preparedness. Reflect on that night. You reflected on your ceiling, contemplating the reasons behind the persistent presence of disrespect, confusion, and chaos in your life. It is not that existence is challenging you. You have yet to establish a firm foundation that allows you to remain unmoved, and you shall find yourself stirred by her emotions, by pressure, by temptation, until your mind and body are so harmoniously aligned that separation is no longer an option. Do you comprehend the transformation that occurs when an individual ceases to allow should the world determine his value? When he refrains from pursuit, not due to a lack of desire show concern, yet it is rooted in his own deliberate choice. When he ceases to provide explanations himself, not from a place of pride, but because his resolve naturally responds to the one must consider the inevitability of rejection, betrayal, and loss, and learn to navigate through them with resilience, and still hold his head high, not out of indifference, but out of clarity, because he is forged from something more enduring than validation. And if you have yet to construct that foundation, know that it is not too late, yet you remain exposed to deceit, to diversion, to those who feign admiration until they discover that a mere breath can guide you towards fleeting chances that slip away the instant you waver. Thus, how do you cease the pretense of tranquility and begin to embody it genuinely? You begin to rise before the world unfolds as it must. You condition your body until discomfort fades into the periphery. One finds oneself seated in discomfort, embracing the challenge without lamentation. You reflect each evening, guiding your thoughts onto the page with purpose. You establish limits with oneself, not merely with others. Embrace discomfort as your path to growth, not an obstacle to confront. You meet her gaze when she challenges you, standing firm, not to assert control, but to demonstrate that within you lies a steadiness that transcends any turmoil she may introduce. And that type of individual, that type the essence of humanity, becomes scarce. What is scarce is often sought after, because true tranquility maintains a calm demeanor. It remains steadfast and unmoved. It does not demonstrate. It is as it is. It is. And all that surrounds it starts to revolve around its power. Second, those who remain silent often convey the most profound messages. There exists a distinct form of intensity that the world remains unaccustomed to. It is not found in loudness. It lies not in the act of explanation. It is not in occupying voids. It is the quiet strength of a man who enters a room, his silence speaking volumes. And yet each the individual senses a shift in the atmosphere. He remains unaffected by the need for approval. He is not observing for acceptance. He remains untroubled by the need for recognition. For he understands deeply that when a person bears true depth within, there is no need for proclamation. His calmness, his purpose, his certainty are so apparent that individuals attune yourself to the unspoken wisdom that precedes his words. Contemplate this matter deeply. Reflect on that moment when someone passed by, and an unspoken understanding lingered in the air, transcending the need for words, that he transcended the mundane. Perhaps it was the manner in which he conducted himself. Perhaps it was his unwavering focus, his serene demeanor, his complete detachment from the need for validation. Conduct, that was a result of careful preparation and resilience. That was not a measure of worth. That was a person who has devoted years spent in quiet preparation, cultivating strength and character until respect was naturally bestowed upon him. He governed it through his very being. Solitary, and you acknowledge it. In the company of a man who remains unfazed by your agreement, there lies a certain strength, for his truth stands resolute, allowing him to remain composed in silence, creating an atmosphere of unease among others. Not due to he exhibits a fierce demeanor, yet it stems from a steadfast commitment to his true self. Within a society fixated on excessive sharing, constant posting, and relentless talking, he opts to protect his vitality. He speaks only when it contributes, not when it diverts. He articulates deliberately, with thoughtful pauses, not to sway, but because his words carry significance and weight shifts in its own manner. Do you aspire to embody that ideal? Then cease to occupy unnecessary space. To recognize one's inherent value. Cease the pursuit of external validation. Cease employing dialogue as a means to seek recognition. Your voice gains strength when it is free from the weight of urgency. Your posture and gestures transform captivating when it transcends the expression of desire. Your energy transforms into a force that draws others, and once you have accomplished the personal growth, to exist in harmony. Let your demeanor convey your essence before uttering a word. Through your expression, to cultivate that presence, one must embrace accountability. For each utterance you express, you refrain from engaging in idle chatter about others. Cease the deception. Cease your actions. Justify your actions whenever someone challenges you. Your principles assert themselves before your words take flight. One possesses established eye contact and allow others to sense your inner strength, not out of desire to instill fear, but because you're confronted your own challenges. Shadows now serve your purpose, aligning with your intentions rather than opposing them. Women do not seek out empty phrases. They seek assurance. They desire the individual who stands firm in his convictions, who remains unperturbed when she presents a challenge before him. They desire the individual whose quietude conveys, "My choice is made. I am." And in embracing this truth, you become etched in memory, not due to your endeavor to be, yet it is due to your courage in creating what many are unaware they lack. Thus, utter fewer words, yet convey depth. Seek to understand that often, the most impactful presence is found in those who speak the least. Number 3, her emotional trigger is a steadfast composure. She remains unaffected by love or aspiration. Her commitment is not swayed by your appearance, your ambition, or the manner in which you express your thoughts. Your plans are subject to the whims of fate. Approach them with a calm mind and acceptance of what may come. What stirs her soul beyond mere attraction? What anchors her infidelity is what she experiences when chaos surrounds her, and she observes you maintaining your composure, without the need to assert control, without the urge to flee, without succumbing to chaos. Her essence is designed not for flawlessness, but for understanding. She is inherently inclined to pursue steadfastness amidst emotional turmoil. And when she challenges you, indeed challenges, for every woman of substance will, she seeks not your triumph in argument or resolve her emotions. She is assessing whether you possess the strength to endure the weight of her reality unflinchingly, hesitating. That is why one can possess charm, intelligence, and even resources, yet still face the loss of her. In a fleeting moment of unguarded vulnerability, of standing firm instead of yielding, of expressing instead of reflecting, you validated her apprehensions. Your strength arises from circumstances, rather than being inherent. Thus, she withdraws. She remains steadfast in her resolve. Inquiries. She creates tension not to bring about your downfall, but to test the strength of your foundation. In those moments when you begin to elevate your voice, when your breath shifts, when your words falter due to fear of what lies ahead, whatever she may do, say, or think, you have relinquished your leadership. You are pursuing. Furthermore, women do not remain in situations where they sense they are responsible for guiding your responses. They seek your unwavering presence in times of uncertainty, unmoved by the chaos. They seek your guidance when they find themselves adrift. They seek to yield, not from fragility, yet your presence provides them the assurance to be vulnerable. However, here lies a truth that many may find difficult to confront. We've been instructed to articulate when we ought to listen, to resolve when we ought to comprehend, to remain calm when it is wise to take a moment of reflection. Until you let go of that mindset, you will continue to draw in disorder rather than harmony. She remains unopposed. One must focus on what is within their control. She seeks within you a quality that remains steadfast, something that arises from authenticity and virtue or flattery. It arises from profound understanding, from an individual who engaged deeply with his reflections, who has mastered the art of bearing emotional burdens without imposing them on others. It lies within the individual who can observe her feelings, sorrow, apprehension, struggles, and maintain composure, not due to striving for success, yet fully aware of his identity, independent of her approval. Such composure, that calmness in the face of adversity, that self-control grounded in certainty not only draws her in, but also renders her defenseless. It diminishes her barriers, because now she perceives you not as another individual feigning strength, but as the one who truly exists. To achieve this, one must venture into realms that many shy away from. Embrace the discomfort, confront the triggers, and venture into the areas where your responses have always been automatic. And you should cultivate the practice of breathing, to pause, to observe, to guide with your composure rather than your desire to exist indeed. For ultimately, those who genuinely guide are not the ones who merely speak the majority, yet those who endure the most without yielding. Number 4, a lack of reaction leads to the greatest mastery over oneself. Every moment you respond without when you relinquish control, you diminish your strength. Every message you dispatch from a place of fear, every dispute you plunge in without understanding, each feeling that governs your speech leads to surrender. Earth, not merely in relation to women, but in all aspects of life, in business, and in your own self-reflection, due to responses contrary to true guidance. It is the assertion that an external force holds greater power than your own inner strength. Within you, in a world meticulously designed to elicit your reactions, advertisements exploiting your vulnerabilities, viewpoints provoking your ego, individuals manipulating your emotions merely to observe the reaction, you will persevere. The most exceptional individuals are those who remain unyielding, who do not waver, who do not respond merely to acknowledge your presence. For those who have taken a moment to reflect in the face of trials, maintaining composure and deliberate calm rather than succumbing to fear ensures that those who seek to manipulate you remain bewildered, greater than one who refrains from engaging in their pursuits. And she recognizes this as well. She may refrain from expressing it. She may not acknowledge it. Yet within, when you maintain your composure instead of rising above, when you prioritize purpose over turmoil, when you turn away from silence speaks volumes, a realization dawns. Admiration grows stronger as your curiosity deepens. You find yourself cultivating a newfound respect for your own being in ways you never anticipated, not experienced previously. You begin to understand that your focus holds great value, and how you allocate your time shapes your fate. One observes that not every challenge merits a thoughtful reflection. Not every stimulus warrants a response. Certain experiences serve as trials. Those who endure are those capable of perceiving what lies beyond the present. Yet, this is the point where many individuals falter. They create uncertainty, detachment from fragility. They believe that stepping away signifies defeat. They believe that refraining from conflict signifies that they have not engaged in it, resilient enough to uphold their convictions. That is not correct. True strength is not demonstrated through volume. It is revealed through understanding. It is unnecessary to do so. It is within the stillness, the fleeting look, and the quiet that ensues when someone attempts to provoke you, and you remain steadfast, fully aware of their intentions. And what holds greater significance, you understand the essence of your being. In that instant, you attain a state of invulnerability. not due to your not evading existence, but rather having gained mastery over it. In moments when the urge to respond impulsively arises, to pursue fervently, to stand firm, cease. Contemplate whether this aligns with the person you are striving to be. If it does not, release it. If it depletes your energy, create space between you and it. For each moment you decide, by choosing not to react, you strengthen your path. You demonstrate to yourself that your purpose holds greater significance than mere existence. Indeed, and that gradually shapes you into the kind of individual that others observe with keen interest. Do not for the sake of amusement, but for the strength to persevere, because you do not maintain your composure for recognition, but because you have dedicated yourself for so long and sacrificed too much to ever yield rise once more. Point 5. Mastery over one's emotions is essential. Guidance. There comes a moment in every man's journey when he surveys the turmoil around him, his connections fraying, is in the midst of uncertainty. His mind races through the night, and he comes to understand that the world will continue its course, indifferent to his pace. He must rise above the pressure, or be overwhelmed by it. And it is within that moment, not when he stands triumphant, not when she expresses her affection, not when all is in harmony, but when the barriers are as one approaches the end. It is often in that moment that a man uncovers the essence of reality. True leadership transcends mere titles. True strength lies not in the volume of one's voice. It is not concerned with the control of others. Leadership involves maintaining composure when every part of you desires to succumb to chaos. It is during the moments when your partner is remaining grounded and instead of responding to her energy, you stabilize her by choosing not to engage. Pause. In the face of business setbacks, one does not lament the circumstances, but instead embraces the opportunity to adjust and grow. It is when your friend betray you and you choose not to respond with spiteful actions. One must remain steadfast in the face of life's challenges. Act with quiet resolve and elevate your expectations. Because mastery over one's emotions it is not about denying your emotions. It involves mastering the art of guiding it with intention. It is the understanding of when to voice one's thoughts, and when to remain silent, when to disengage, and when to hold firm in your convictions. Moreover, the most challenging aspect for many individuals lies here. This level of mastery is not instinctive. It is not an inherent trait from the moment of your arrival. One must reflect on their own actions and thoughts, embracing the present moment with clarity and purpose. One must construct it quietly, away from the light. It is essential to confront every aspect of yourself that you have been avoiding. The frustration, the disappointment and regret are inevitable, and one must confront them without casting blame on others. It is essential to reflect on your own behaviors and inquire within, what prompts such reactions? What compels me to elevate my voice in moments of perceived disrespect? Why do I pursue her approval when I am aware she's not in a balanced state? What compels me to agree when I am aware that I ought to decline? Moreover, that is a foundation from which all else arises, not in altering her, not in correcting your superior or your family, yet in the process of reconstructing your very essence. Commence with conquering the dawn, rising with purpose, conditioning your body before external forces can disrupt your peace. One must reflect on their own actions and thoughts, embracing the present moment with clarity and purpose. Establish unwavering commitments, actions you undertake each day, regardless of circumstances, as they provide you with stability. One cultivates the art of speaking with deliberate slowness, not out of doubt, but from a deep respect for the power of your words. One cultivates the practice of deep breathing in moments of provocation, rather than because you have cultivated the ability to remain grounded, even when your instincts urge you to escape. Moreover, gradually, the individual you once were, the one who reacted impulsively, the one filled with anxiety, the one seeking approval, begins to fade away, and from the ashes of the old, a new individual emerges. One who does not take the initiative with self, yet grounded. One who does not seek followers, yet finds themselves in position of guidance regardless. His energy is so stable that it inspires trust in others effortlessly. Your woman begins to seek your presence not for guidance, but for reassurance. Your group begins to value your calm assurance over their own turmoil. Your children perceive in you a wisdom that transcends any lesson a teacher might impart. An illustration of how to remain grounded when circumstances do not unfold as you wish. Path, for that embodies true leadership. It is not merely the capacity to lead others, but the strength to navigate through adversity without straying from your path. Number 6, tranquility conquers turmoil. There exists a tranquility that remains unperturbed by disruption, through distractions, through unforeseen shifts. And when a person exists from that state of being, all that surrounds him either falls into place or fades away. And the reality is, the majority of what envelopes you at this moment, each dispute, each insincere companion, each an emotional spike, does not constitute genuine connection. It is merely distraction attempting to unsettle. Your core, for existence does not honor your capabilities. It challenges your self-control. Only those who see seeking solace in others and begin to forge their own path endure the trial. It lies within. She seeks your calmness when she challenges you. She hopes you will remain steadfast when challenges arise. Embrace solitude. She seeks to discern the truth of your identity. If your resilience is genuine, not due to a lack of trials, but because you have faced challenges and decided to stand firm. And the rationale of this tranquility is so uncommon because it requires construction one layer at a time, while others pursue fleeting paths to ease. It commences the moment you find yourself in discomfort, without dulling it. It strengthens when you maintain your position in a discussion without elevating your tone. It strengthens when you decline her request. It is not from malice, but from a place of understanding. It is during those moments you decide to exit a space where your worth is unrecognized, not out of spite, but to safeguard your tranquility. And that is the moment when disorder relinquishes its hold over you. At the moment you cease to seek validation from others and instead cultivate a profound awareness of your own being. Envision the act of walking into a circumstance that once unsettled you, a fluctuation in a woman's emotions, a subtle yet pointed remark, an act of disloyalty. Rather, in the face of reaction, you find your breath. You take note of your surroundings. You allow it to flow through you like a gentle breeze, across formidable peaks. In that moment, your response transcends mere reaction. You have transformed. Your partner begins to observe you with greater attention. She cannot explain it, yet she feels an undeniable pull towards you, for your tranquility has transcended mere emotion. Your essence defines you, and the world starts to regard you as someone unshakable, for you have demonstrated it once more. Once more, your surroundings have learned that nothing holds greater worth for you than your tranquility, and everything that undermines it will be confronted, not with fury, yet with composed departure. And that is daunting for those who lack mastery over their circumstances. One must focus on the essence of existence. That draws in those who seek resilience. And above all, it has the potential to transform your existence, because now you are embracing the turmoil with resilience. You have rendered it inconsequential. And the individual who possesses that ability, he embodies a higher standard. He exists with greater purpose. He exerts greater influence, not through coercion, but through harmony. When an individual reaches serene amidst the chaos, he remains impervious. Number 7, tranquility fosters enduring strength. Desire. There exists a strength that remains steady beyond initial encounters, that endures through conflicts and does not fade when life challenges your resolve. And that strength, the one that women what you may have done for them, but rather on the essence of your character and the impact you had during your time together. A lure that transcends mere looks, rooted not in fleeting sparks of attraction. It is grounded in a principle that transcends the immediate, profound. Your capacity to stay firmly anchored in your true self as time progresses through struggle, through transformation, through perseverance. Because fleeting allure is simple to attain. Any man can acquire flowers, utter the appropriate words, and maintain a facade of composure for a brief period or even a brief span of weeks. What sustains a woman's gaze upon you after a decade has passed? An association? What earns her respect in moments of anger? What defines her? Do you still yearn for something even when the weight of existence feels burdensome? Is your steadfastness in remaining unchanged? The individual she encountered on the first day, yet more profound, resilient, and polished. And to attain, you must cease to be swayed by the emotional fluctuations that undermine many individuals. One must strive to embody the ideal self, remain steady in times of prosperity, and does not falter in adversity. One must cultivate the ability to exist guided by core values, rather than emotion, to uphold your true self, even in challenging times, particularly when it presents a challenge. For trust to flourish, it must be nurtured through unwavering consistency. True strength is found in the practice of self-control. Furthermore, nothing fosters enduring allure like a man who remains composed and steady, never needing to assert himself to affirm his identity. She does not. It is essential to maintain a sense of composure and not seek validation from external sources. She requires a steadfast foundation, and she does not require a man who is easily swayed by emotions. She requires a partner who possesses strength and stability. Space embodies truth, vision, and a steadfast standard. Such a man does not must remain steadfast in my efforts to earn her affection. He embodies a sanctuary where her essence can find solace without trepidation. However, that space is a privilege that must be deserved. It must be shaped by the decisions you embrace in solitude, when she withdraws and you embrace calmness instead of chaos, when you find yourself misinterpreted and you opt for understanding excessive demonstration. In moments of challenge, you embrace calmness rather than chaos. Furthermore, these moments reveal our character, not the grand displays, not the lavish journeys, but the quiet, often unnoticed displays of steadfastness that convey to her that you seek not to dominate her. One's purpose is to guide with serenity, free from pride and devoid of distraction. This is the essence of being that transforms the rhythm of her breath in your presence, that inspires her to draw nearer without any prompting from you, that brings her to a halt inquiry. Cease the trials, relinquish the struggle as she recognizes that nothing what defines you is fleeting. You have established yourself as an unwavering presence in her life, not due to your request of it, but because you decided each day to embody the individual who not only provides steadiness, he embodies it. This profound essence, the significant burden is uncommon. That is the reason she remains steadfast. That is the reason for her acquiescence, not from a place of frailty, but from a sense of reverence. So profound it stirs her essence. For the individual who cultivates tranquility over time transforms compelling not only in intimacy, but in demeanor, not solely when circumstances are favorable, yet when existence becomes intricate. To embody that ideal, you require nothing further. Strategies. Seek a deeper understanding of reality. Cease the pursuit and begin to embody your true essence. Begin by adhering to your principles, even in the face of temptation. Commence by disengaging from dialogues that undermine your value. Commence with your training, your body and mind, so that your choices arise from a place of reason rather than fleeting desires. Begin by articulating the legacy you aspire to create, and conduct yourself as though you bear that responsibility with every word you utter. And above all, understand this. Transcendent allure surrounds us at every turn. Yet what defines her heart finds renewal in every glance cast your way, as you embody the essence of growth and transformation. Steadfast, increasingly centered, and purposefully deliberate as time unfolded. That is what shapes a lasting impact. That is what elevates rulers. That is what distinguishes the individual she moments share with a companion she chooses to journey through life alongside. Embody that ideal. Should you find yourself at this juncture, it is clear that this world was not designed to forge you into a resilient individual. It was constructed to keep you in pursuit of validation, questioning your intuition, dulling every facet of your strength until you lose sight of your true self. And if you find yourself weary of existing in uncertainty, exhausted, and diminishing your worth with each attempt to appease, this ceases now. The reality is, many individuals will continue to repeat the same errors in their romantic pursuits and connections over the next 5 years, until one day, they awaken in solitude, feeling empty within, and ponder the events that led them here. However, not you, for you have gained insight that remains unseen by others. And that's why the Wise Individual A framework for understanding relationships for men is available. This is more than merely an e-book. It carries weight. An instrument for the individual who has ceased to indulge in weakness, who will no longer be swayed, and prepare for what lies ahead to ultimately embody composure, resilience, and command. This e-book comes at a cost. It isn't diluted. It is the most unvarnished reality you have yet to encounter. Moreover, it can be found in the comments section. Share your thoughts on the foundational principles at this moment, if you're prepared to embrace it and create what she has longed to experience in you, yet found difficult to articulate. Engage with this video. Consider subscribing and assist another individual in avoiding the years spent in suffering, uncertainty, and unvoiced remorse.